Thank you very much for it. Let's stay now with US President Donald Trump, who has received international support for his bid to win the Nobel Peace Prize, with leaders from Armenia and Azerbaijan praising his role in ending decades of conflict. Both nations' leaders credited Trump and his team for achieving a breakthrough peace deal signed at the White House this week. Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev called it a miracle accomplished in just 6 months. This adds to a growing list of foreign officials backing Trump's nomination for the prestigious award. Let's listen in to Azerbaijan's President Ilham Aliyev's praise for Donald Trump.
So maybe we agree with Prime Minister Pashinyan to send a joint appeal to Nobel Committee to award President Trump with the Nobel Peace Prize, because from the leaders of the countries which were at war for more than 3 decades, having this historic signature here, it really means a lot. This is tangible result of President Trump's leadership.
Well, this comes as Iran welcomed the agreement but warned against foreign intervention in the region, cautious about Washington's increasing influence. The UK has also come out praising the bold steps taken in the US-brokered Armenia-Azerbaijan peace deal. This deal marks a significant shift in South Caucasus geopolitics, with the US asserting a stronger presence. Well, Thomas, once again, we have the privilege of you joining us to discuss this topic. I want to avoid the deal itself because we've discussed that over the past 48 hours. I really want to focus in on another call from a world leader, 2 world leaders, in fact, sitting either side of Donald Trump and nominating him for the Nobel Peace Prize. This is something many experts say Trump is after. Of course, his rhetoric before taking office for a second time back in January was that he was going to get wars ended. We've seen 2 conflicts that he promised to end, both the war in Gaza and the Russia-Ukraine war still ongoing, but the US has been a key factor in them moving further towards peace. Can you just talk overall about the topic in general?
Of course, Joshua. Nominating Donald Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize has seemed to become a trend, specifically with countries that want to get diplomatically closer to the US president. Donald Trump is very transactional, and nominating him for the Nobel Peace Prize will certainly put you in his good books, or that is what some leaders seem to think, and they might be right. It started off with the India-Pakistan conflict earlier on. Pakistan nominated him for the Nobel Peace Prize, and then India rejected the fact that the US was involved in negotiating the peace deal. What happened then? Tariffs were placed on India of up to 50% now, and a much lower deal was put on Pakistan. So Pakistan seemingly rewarded there. Another thing, Israel and Iran, the 12-day war, which Trump also claims to have brokered. Donald Trump was seen getting visibly angry with both Iran and Israel, but obviously the relationship with Israel and the United States has been one of the strongest in the world for years. Donald Trump getting angry at them on camera and even swearing is very much was a big development, and so we saw possible diplomatic fallout there between Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump. However, this was then all settled when Benjamin Netanyahu hands Donald Trump and announces to the room that he has nominated him for the Nobel Peace Prize. Same thing with Cambodia and Thailand. Now, Cambodia and Thailand still have a fragile peace. We've seen an incident today where some soldiers have been killed with apologies, not killed, injured, in a landmine incident near the border. However, Cambodia, also seen as the lesser power in that conflict, also nominates Donald Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. So these 2 countries, which have been at war since the mid-1990s, have now come to a peace and have now got that photo op with the US president as he collects these peace deals which the US claim to broker. And so, of course, this is a trend. Whether Donald Trump does, in fact, win the Nobel Peace Prize is yet to be seen. But of course, another major development there, and Donald Trump is going to be very, very pleased with his new nominations.
Absolutely. Thomas Porteous, thank you ever so much for joining us on a whole host of topics there across the bulletin. All eyes, of course, will be on whether Trump does receive that Nobel